Okay, next question is coming from Claire. Claire, are you here?
Sorry, yes, I'm here.
Hey, Claire, where are you calling from?
From Bristol in the UK.
Ah, Bristol. Were you at my workshop?
No,
Ah,
but my friend Sophie recommended getting in touch with you, who you met in Canada. And I looked you up and then you were in Bristol the next day, but I couldn't make it.
which Sophie
So
are we
yeah,
talking
um, I've forgotten her surname. Um, Sophie, who was in Canada for like four
about? Oh,
years,
Sid
she
was living
definitely
in
met you.
Calgary. Yes, okay. Well, love her.
Surnames just escaped me. Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
but so your question was you'd like some creative strategies for visual learners to help with the storytelling skills for marketing, how to link themes on socials. Okay, well, Ingrid Lill is one of the very first people I'd recommend. It seems to be a theme today. That's her whole gig. Um, yeah, one of the she does this great process for this. Okay, Island A, Island B, and then what connects them. Really brilliant, helping people bring out their point of view. So she's got a lot of videos on her website that you might consider looking at.
Hmm.
But so create strategies for visual learners. So are you saying your clients are visual learners and you're wanting to help them with storytelling skills for their marketing?
No. So I'm a medical herbalist and I've just launched my business within the last 6 months. And I am looking, it's more for me to hone in on my marketing strategy to attract clients. So it's not for the people, it's more for me to hone in on who I'm trying to attract and just I've got so many themes that I'd like to talk about and so many different ways to communicate the message of health um, and lifestyle strategies, etc. I do like women's health specialist work. um, yeah, I've already got a platform and stuff. It's just for me really to look at focusing on different areas, and obviously you can't do everything at once, so it's just a bit of a plan, a bit of a strategy of, yeah, does that make sense?
Not entirely, but
No.
so you have what social media platform are you on?
My company's called Learn Botanics.
No, but
So
what are you
it's on Instagram, sorry, Instagram and Facebook, but Instagram's my main
okay.
outlet at the moment.
Okay, so
Called
you're
Learn
on
Botanics.
Instagram and you have a lot to say. You've got a lot of themes you want to talk about, but you're feeling a little overwhelmed about how to schedule it, how to map it out, how to not try to do everything at once, how to have there be some rhythm to it. Is this it?
Yeah, that's part of it. And I think also it's about being a bit more focused on how to stick to a similar way of keeping things aligned with not just the branding and how it looks, but um, just the sort of style. Say if you take Instagram, for example, some people go for like more reels or more infogram, whatever they're called. Yeah, I'm still sort of mapping that out.
So you're trying to figure out the best constellation of tactics, let's say on Instagram, and what that looks like for you.
Yeah, yeah, that would be good, concise. Yeah.
So there's a few resources. One, I would recommend checking out Rebecca Van Dam. Also, if you go to marketingforhippies.com/webinars, I've got a webinar on social media that delves deep into these very particular questions. Um, and but for everybody, here's what I would say. You're going to be reaching people some way. Yeah, it's maybe it's just your email list, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe it's Substack, maybe it's YouTube. And it is worth thinking, okay, what's going to be my primary one? Okay, so in this case, it's Instagram. But then a lot of this comes down to one of the visual things you can do to help with this, literally draw out a month, a little calendar, and just start to figure out what things will you do. Well, you could even have a whole year calendar, or let me rewind further. It's worth thinking about what things will you do every day on social media, on Instagram. Are there things maybe every day I'm going to do a little story, right? That'll be my daily thing. Second is, what are you going to post once a week? Because maybe every week there's the similar kind of thing you post. Then what do you do once a month, once a quarter, once a year? It's worthwhile just mapping things into those buckets, because there are certain things you shouldn't do more than once a quarter. Yeah, there's certain things, if you do it more than once a month, and you figure this rhythm out as you go, you'll do certain things too often, certain things not often enough. It'll even out. But if you start with all your ideas of things you could do and just figure out how often you want to do them, then you may look at that and say, oh, but wait, this is nuts. I've got 50 things in the once a month bucket. Okay, that's too much. Maybe I got to shift this a bit. But if you do that, then you can take it from there and you could just map it onto a month and say, okay, I got all these monthly things. Okay, I'm gonna do this the first week, second week, third week, fourth week of the month. You can literally start to plan it out. But what most people never do is this kind of planning on social media. It's very reactive. It's just today, what do I feel like? And that's a lot of load on the old dome. You're having to think every day so hard. And that consumes very real mental energy. So if we want to get some sort of rhythm, which I would suggest and submit to most of you is the thing that's needed in your social media presence, that takes planning. That just really means sitting down, set a timer for an hour, and you just start to draw it out. Yeah, and what are all the things I want to do? How often do I want to do them? What kinds of reels do I want to do? How often do I want to do each kind? Because some people do lifestyle reels where it's just, hey, here's me in the garden. They put that together. Some people, and there's more teaching reels. There's different types. And of course, one of the things I would urge everyone to do, let's just say it's Instagram for everybody for the sake of this, but it could be any platform. Look at 10 other Instagram accounts that you really love and admire. And just look at what do they do? What do you like about what they post? And consider, could you have your own version of that? And then, then you just map it out. Okay, what do I want to do? When? How often? And then the other thing that's important to consider as you're mapping all that out is you look at the whole next year and you think, okay, well, what are the promotions that are coming up? What are my events coming up? Because that has to go in the calendar too. Because otherwise, what happens is, we just leave it to the last minute to promote these things, or we overload. Oh my God, I made 10 posts today because all those things were crunched up together. And and sometimes it's like, okay, because there's promotion, maybe I'll scale back on the other pieces I would normally do. Does this help at all?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So next is, and of course, Rebecca Van Dam. You can check her out, RebeccaVanDam.com, DAMM. She's fantastic. So recommend her stuff.